So, our learning target, I can identify direct variation, and there's going to be 3 ways: graphs, equations, and tables that we're going to look at. So to start with, let's try to figure out what is direct variation. Here's the part which is what I don't like about it. It doesn't really give me a really good explanation. It's very abstract, let's say. So the official definition says a direct variation, also could be called a direct proportion, is a situation where 2 quantities either increase or decrease at the same rate. This is at the very top of that page. Do you see it? So the example talks about the mechanic who is paid hourly knows that the more he or she works, the longer hours he or she works, the more money they're going to make. So if you picture a graph like that, the more you work, the more money you make. So I picture that going up. Can you picture it going up? Another example would be decrease. If I go to every store at the outlet and I spend $10, so every store, $10, I'm going down. Every store, $10, I'm going down. Every store, $10, I'm going down. So that would be a steady decrease. Can you picture that? It actually goes back to also Subway sandwich artists. 1 hour, $11. 2 hours, $22. A steady increase in pay. You think we're okay so far? So, a steady increase or decrease. They either increase or decrease at the same rate. That's what we're thinking about. So when it gives us that first example of buying pizzas at Little Caesars, $5 each. Is it with tax? Okay, we'll pretend there's no tax. If I don't buy any pizzas, I pay no money. Maybe you want to make your own little XY chart. If I buy 1 pizza, $5. See how we have a steady increase going on here? If I buy 2 pizzas, $10. Steady increase. If I buy 3 pizzas, is it magically going to cost $20? No, 20 wouldn't be a steady increase. Every time I buy another pizza, I pay $5 more. When I go to graph that, I probably should maybe count by 5s instead of 1s because I don't think very many are going to fit otherwise. Bryn.
Will this be a situation where you couldn't do negatives?
This would be a situation where you wouldn't have a negative pizza bot. So the one time it kind of zoomed in on our positive box. That's a really good question. No pizzas, no money. 1 pizza, $5. 2 pizzas, $10. 3 pizzas, $15. So this is almost like a chart that maybe Little Caesars even has this on their wall. If you know someone ordered 4 pizzas, all you'd have to do is go over to, did I say 4?
Yeah.
And up to the dot, and it would tell you $20, please, plus tax. Now we have 2 ways to write this rule. We can either count on the graph or count on the chart. Counting on the graph was Monday, counting on the chart was Tuesday. Be careful when you count on the graph, because going up 1 is actually worth $5. So if I'm rising and running, rising 1 box is worth 5, run 1. Rise 5, run 1. Or if you do the chart, plus 5 all the way down. What's my slope? 5 or 5 over 1? Were you going to say that, Allison?
Yeah.
Sorry. This is random. Did you see that Kim was working here today?
Yeah, I saw it yesterday.
Oh, I think the whole week made me think of you. What's my y-intercept?
0.
0. Because if you don't buy any pizzas, it doesn't cost you any money. Is that making sense so far? Ready for the next one?
Yes.
This one was the mechanic one. Ooh! If you know someone who is a mechanic or you're interested in cars, this is actually a great job. Think about it. Every house or apartment or townhouse has at least 1 car, right? Some families have 2 cars. If you have a high school driver at your house, you might have 3 cars. And who's going to fix the cars? The mechanics. They're never going to be out of work. There's so many cars all over the place. Plus, think about this. You could make $11 at Subway or go to a little bit of school to learn how to be a mechanic, and all of a sudden you're making $30 an hour. That seems nice, doesn't it? What if you don't work any hours? You don't get any money. So I don't work on a Saturday, which means I'm not making any money on Saturday. That's okay. I need days off too. If anybody know a mechanic? What's their name?
My dad.
Oh, what's his name?
Justin.
Justin. If Justin works 1 hour, he gets $30. If he works 2 hours, $60. Maddie's glad he's not working at Subway right now because he's making way more money. If he works 3 hours, $90. Also, a lot of jobs, not all, but a lot, they have to work an 8-hour day. So then Justin would be able to figure out, after 8 hours of work today, I know how much money I'm going to make. Anybody know it? Exactly.
I have a different question.
Hold up. Good, Drake. $240 after 8 hours. And then someone in first hour said, but you don't get paid every day. Right. Usually it's like I get paid the 15th and the 30th of the month, or maybe it's like every other Friday. So they take all of the days and give you a bigger amount of money. Yeah?
So like if you worked at Subway for like 3 years, as you get older, don't they give you like a higher pay?
They would probably give you a raise.
They'll usually turn you into a higher position, which makes more money. Otherwise, the work is usually just like.
So maybe they find something that pays a little bit more.
Like a manager position.
And sometimes they like the managers to have some sort of business degree. You can get a business, I don't know what you call it exactly. I like Anoka a little bit of school to go with. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you wouldn't necessarily be stuck at $11. Isabel?
My dad is a manager for like a modern manufacturing and engineering MME in Brooklyn Park.
Look at that.
I think he's a manager. Yeah, he's like in charge of. I think he's a manager. He's in charge of something. My mom also works there.
At the same place?
Yep.
This time I think I might count by 10 so I can get a few more dots on there. I could. So here's Justin. Does he have off on Sundays?
Saturday and Sunday.
Both of those? Saturday, Justin's not going to work. He's not making any money today. That happens. Most people don't work 7 days in a row. But today, if he works 1 hour, he will make $30. And if he works 2 hours, he will make $60. That's as much as I can fit, but if you counted by something else, you might fit more. Did you find your slope? Allison?
I got 30/1.
Nice job, 30/1. Even if that was one box on your paper, it was worth $30. What about a y-intercept? Rin? 0. Hey, did you notice anything about the y-intercept?
It's only 0.
Yeah. On these direct variation ones or direct proportion ones, the y-intercept is always 0. We are going to skip a box or 3 for a moment. See this one right here that says graphs? Graphs of direct variation, I would fill up your box with these things. They all go through 0, 0. Just sketch it. Doesn't have to be perfect. I'm in this box right here that says graphs. Are you in this box? First of all, it must be a straight line. That's that steady increase. They're not just magically going to tell Justin, oh, between 12 and 1 o'clock, you're only going to make $15 this hour. He's a steady increase of $30 every hour. Or, I know this was a little silly, but this decreased one, if I'm spending $10 at every store, one store, $10 down. Next store, $20 down. Next store, $30 down. Isabel.
What does it mean that must include the origin?
Oh, so thank you for saying that. So when we said a y-intercept of 0, that is the origin. It's basically the point 0, 0. So it has to go through that middle point. It has a y-intercept of 0. Are you following me so far? So when you look to the right, and it shows you some examples of some graphs, we can't pick all of them. Do you see them over here on the right? So which ones would fall under this direct variation thing, Maddie?
The third one and the fourth one.
So this is a yes? How come?
Because it goes through the origin and it's a straight line.
So basically like two explanations. Same thing over here?
Yeah.
Drake, why do you think she didn't pick this one?
Because it doesn't go through the origin and then it's one.
Nice! It's a steady decrease, but it's not going through that middle dot. Zach Elster, why do you think she didn't pick this one? Sophie, why do you think she didn't pick this one? Godiva, why didn't she pick this one? On May 3rd or 4th, I can't remember the exact date, we are taking an MCA test. This is actually the easiest question to get right. The easiest one to get right, Bryn, because it's a multiple choice question and you literally just click the ones that are gonna work. So I would click this one and this one because they must be straight and they must go through the origin. It's the easiest one to get right. Isabel.
Could we study for the MCAs? Because I feel like I'm not gonna do very well.
Every day that you come here, you are studying.
Yeah, but is there any way we can like review like every single thing we've done this year? Because I probably forgot some of it.
I'll think about that.
Wait, do you know what an MCA test is? Oh wait, it doesn't have every school.
Yeah.
May 3rd or 4th. I can't remember which one.
Yeah, of course. I thought you said it was May 4th because of the May the 4th or whatever. That's how I know.
May the 4th be with you. I hope it is May 4th just for that reason. Okay, so basically we want it to be straight and we want it to go through the origin. So do we think we got that down? Also, it was like Bryn predicted the future a minute ago because she said, is this one of the times where it's only positive? So right now, with Justin working at the garage and what was the other one? Buying pizzas, we don't have any negative numbers, so this would count. It touches the origin and it's straight. Isabel?
What if you like trashed the restaurant or like couldn't pay for it and then you had to work off hours or something? Like would that be negative?
It would definitely be negative. Pete says you'd be fired. You probably would be fired also. Okay, questions on the graph one? Preston.
I don't have a question on that, but I was wondering if you lost your blue marker. Like, there's another one right on the...
Oh, for a while it was missing.
Oh.
So then I scrounged around, like Mr. Kelly never writes on his smartboard, so I stole his. And then mine magically showed back up. So now I have two. And blue's my favorite one to write with. Okay. Also, remember when we had +0 both times? Remember, people can not even write the +0 part, and we're supposed to know it's +0. Do you remember that? So Descartes says, I haven't even said his name yet today. Were you missing him?
Not really. Yes. Isn't he dead?
Yes.
No.
Descartes has plays a little bit of a trick on us. And he tried to help us, but it makes it a little tricky, actually. It used to say, and by used to, I mean yesterday. It used to say y = mx + b. which it still does sometimes. But he said, if it's gonna be plus 0 every time, I'm just not gonna write that. And he tried to help us, but it just became a little confusing. He switched m to k for these direct variation problems. When you see k, you still think slope. So actually, Jack in First Hour said it perfectly. He said, so k is just a variation of m. Exactly. So you can't be tricked. He's trying to tell you the y-intercept is 0 by using a k. If he uses an m, the y-intercept is probably something else, like plus 3 or minus 2 or something like that. I did not tell you this. I would put this in this box if I was you. Sorry. Y equals kx.
What about the one for finding the value of x?
We didn't get there yet. We're coming to it. So he switched m to a k only when you're going through 0. He thought it would help us by switching to a k, but it really just makes it a little bit tricky to remember everything. So then there's some examples down here. Like y equals k, or x plus 0, y equals 5x plus 0, y equals negative 2x plus 0. If I look at this one, k equals rise 1, run 2, rise 1, run 2. If I look at this one, k equals down 3, run 4, down 3, run 4. What's the y-intercept? 0 every time on this. That's why it's named something different. That's why it's all these weird things happening. Because it's always going through 0. Great.
Question. How does yellow and blue things came from you saying always been there?
I think I hung them during distance learning, maybe.
I'm saying those are not there in hybrid.
So the same thing on the next box over, we're trying to identify the ones that follow his rule and the ones that don't. So the y-intercept has to be 0 in order to fall under this category. So what if the y-intercept is negative 4? Because it has to go through the 0, right? What if it says plus 8?
No.
Do you want to cross it out or write a note?
Doesn't matter. It's up to you. Do you see anything else that doesn't work?
You're forgetting negative 7.
Oh, this one. Maddie,
XY.
where are you looking? This one?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to leave this one for last, and I'll tell you why. Anything that does work? Bryn?
Y equals 5.
That actually doesn't. Do you see why?
Oh, wait. No.
It's missing the X, so it would be one of those special graphs.
Your phone is ringing, I think.
Just a spammer. Any others? Absent?
Y equals 3.
Where am I? 3. This one?
Yeah.
This one's gonna work? I agree with you. Look at plus 0 is hiding right there. Bryn,
This is random, but do we not have any homework then?
we will, it's just short. Addison,
Why equals negative
this one? Plus 0. So basically, anytime it has a y-intercept of 0, it's going to work. Do you see any, Drake?
y equals 3 over 4x.
Plus 0 has a y-intercept of 0, it's going to work. Addison,
Y equals negative 8.
Bryn,
For x equals 6, would that work? Because you could just make it only y.
but the y is not in the equation, so it doesn't work. Addison,
Would y equals negative x?
oh my gosh, she's on fire with this. Last but not least is this one that Maddie said. What's wrong with it anyway?
The X is in with the Y, and the Y is supposed to stay by itself.
She is so good. The X is with the Y, and the Y is supposed to be by itself. How can I unsmush these?
Divide by X.
Isabel?
I'm still a little confused about it. Like, some of them make sense, but like, why not y equals 5?
Because it has to have Y equals mx. And it doesn't have the X with it. And this one didn't have a Y. And this one, look where the X is. Can you divide by X? It says you're supposed to multiply X. So can I count this one?
No.
Think we're getting the hang of it? Literally, 9 of the 12 homework questions, you look at the equation, does it work or not? Or you look at the graph, does it work or not? So we think we're getting that much? Zach Hellstrom?
You have to explain why not.
Yes, but just use really quick, like, nope, not straight, or not through the origin. Really quick explanations like that. Bryn,
This is random, but is there the same amount of questions on the MCA test for everyone? Or is it all different?
I don't know the answer to that. My training is coming up and maybe they will tell me. And I will tell you. Last part. We kind of talked about that already. Finding the value of K. The last one that Ellie talked about. K is what again?
Slope.
Slope. I can find K super easy by putting Y over X. If I think about that for Justin the mechanic, I'll go back, don't think.
Mechanic instead of mechanic.
Justin the mechanic, all I have to do is put a Y number over an X number and I'll be able to figure out my slope. Here was the X, here was the Y. So let's say I picked 90 and 3. So if my Y is 90 and my X is 3,
That would equal 30.
30 over 1, which is now K, the slope. So it's super easy if you can find the Y number and the X number, which are usually in your chart or on your graph.
Why isn't y over x the slope?
It is.
So it's both slope?
Y over X, so all Maddie did is simplify this.
Oh,
Technically, yes, they both are the slope, but you're going to see the simplified one most often. If we think of the pizza party, 20 pizzas cost me $4. Nope, 4 pizzas cost me $20, sorry. Which is 5.
Over 1.
Now I know K, and K was the slope. So he, Cortez, thought he was making this weirdness easier on us, and it turns out it kind of made it a little bit more confusing. But I appreciate his efforts. What if, then last box. If y is 44 and x is 11, so what did we just write?
1.
Y over x is going to give me k. Y over x is going to give me k. What's y? 44. What's x?
11. Which equals 4.
Which equals 4
Over 1.
Over 1.
over 1. So now I know this is the
Slope.
slope. Do you know how fast I can write this equation? Like this fast. Y equals, what's the slope?
4
4 over 1 x. What's the y-intercept?
0 plus 0. Or just leave it.
Plus 0 or just leave it. I just wrote that equation so fast. What about this one? If a person, not Justin, someone else. If a person works 8 hours, they get $72. What do you think my y is?
72.
72. What do you think my x is?
8. 9 over 1 is the slope.
Is the slope. I can write my equation so fast. Y equals
9 over 1.
9 over 1 x,
Just leave it.
either plus 0 or don't write anything. It's really supposed to be easier to write the direct variation equations. It's supposed to be easier. But he changed the wording so many times that it makes it seem a little tricky. So the first 9 questions were going to be